You know what? That's what I should have done. Now that I look back on it, I was like super offended, and I may or may not allegedly have cried and been banned from that room. It's not a big deal. It's fine. It's honestly, it helped me venture out. So, no. Hi, I'm comedian Coral Best, and what you are about to see is not meant as an instructional video for yoga in any way. This is for entertainment purposes, and let's do this thing.
You mentioned having a health issue. You mind talking about it a little bit, like what it is and how you, and mostly, I guess what I want to know is how you make it funny.
Oh man, that is a tough question. Because, okay, so pretty much I have had an autoimmune disease from the age of 15 called ulcerative colitis that makes me sick whenever I eat something. So I have to take medicine that made me okay for a long time. And eventually that medicine stopped working when I was 26 years old, which was about 2 years ago. And I was in the hospital for a long time, and they told me that I was not getting better. So that I had to go through a major surgery where they just took out my colon, my entire large intestine, which is...
The whole thing is gone.
The whole thing. I was like, come again? When they told me what they were going to do. I didn't even know you could live like that.
Yeah.
So one of the
not
jokes...
Not even a semicolon.
No, not even. You know what? There actually is a thing where they only remove part of the colon, so we'll call it a semicolon.
Okay.
Yeah, and one of the jokes that I usually start with is the fact that when I was in the hospital and I lost so much weight, I kept on getting compliments. Like everyone was reaching out to me just like, wow, I always knew with just a little hard work, you'd get there. And I'm like, I'm almost dead. I lost so much weight, but literally people were making me feel like, don't worry about it. At least your obituary photo is going to be like top notch. And then when they told me, so this is what happens when you get your colon removed, it's not just like, get it out of here, you're good to go. It means that you get an ostomy bag, which is a bag that goes on your tummy. They kind of like reroute where you go. You don't go out of your butt anymore. See, I'm still figuring out, I tell this to audiences. I'm like, are you guys ready to learn about ostomy bags? And then nobody says anything. And then I just continue my set.
Sounds right.
Yeah, just about. Sometimes somebody in the back will cheer, and I'm like, talk to me later. Let's talk. What are you going through? Hard stuff.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to swear?
You can swear, yeah.
Okay. Going through some hard shit. Every time, I make a shit joke now, people are like, huh, is that because of the bag? I'm like, ugh. I used to not even make jokes about shit, but then I tell people that my life became a shit joke. So, yeah. And then when I found out that I was going to get a bag as like a young woman that's, single, I was like, oh, no thanks. Like, literally, what are the other options? They're like death. I'm like, I'm considering it. I don't really know what the correct etiquette is to when you tell someone that you want to fuck. Or just...
In general, you mean?
Yeah, like, so...
There's nothing to do with ostomy bag or not.
Well, yeah, just in general, if you were to have anything that somebody doesn't see on you right away.
Yeah.
When they make the decision they're attracted to you.
Ah, yes.
So it's kind of like... usually they see me on stage, and I don't bring up the ostomy bag every set.
Yeah.
And they have this idea of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to tell them, before we go any further, there's something I need to share with you about my body.
Yeah.
And more than on one occasion, the guy was like, oh, I already know you have a penis. They just assume that I have a penis. It's like, I'm not, that's great. Like, if that's your life, that's totally, that's also something that you need to complain to about your partner. But I realize that maybe it's just because I'm like come off confident, and they're just like, dang, this girl's probably got a bigger dick than me. I don't know. Everyone's always told me my family should be a sitcom.
How so?
Okay, so we're pretty poor, and we're Jewish, so we never really fit into the Jewish community. And my mom is very much, in the sense of the word, like a gold digger. Like she married my dad hoping he would make good money, and he kind of didn't.
Yeah.
Apologies, father, if you're seeing this. Pretty much, so when my parents got separated, my mom met like this man much, much older than her, moved in with him, asked if my brother could move in, asked if I could move in, and then my dad had nowhere to live. So she was like, can my ex-husband live in the living room?
Wow.
So we lived like that for like a long time, and...
What would be the name of the sitcom?
Oh, goodness, I don't know. Jews take over your house? He was like super Christian.
I can't imagine that the executives at NBC would go for that, but...
All right, well, it's a working title, all right? No, it's just weird. There's just, And then I think I can say this is not that big a deal. So my brother got expelled from school for being a dealer.
Okay.
So pretty much he was always dealing out of that house. So it was just like mayhem. We have a line out the door. Literally, people just show up at our front door and line up.
Nice.
You know.
Were you like the bouncer?
Kind
of. Check IDs
I was,
or something?
I was the one like scoping for hot guys. Like I dated a lot of my brother's friends, but only because that's what was available.
Yeah.
You know, there's like 9 of them here. You know, one's got to be okay. Heckle.
The best heckle and or your best heckle response.
Okay. So I do get heckled quite a lot because I usually start out shows because I'm hosting and people just want to get involved right away.
Yeah.
Usually I'll address them, you know. I one time this guy kept making a remark on every single comment I made. So I said, "Is this how you fuck? Like, are you constantly telling the person whether or not this is working for you?" And I said, "You must be a loud lover." And that went over really well, but
yeah,
I would say this isn't exactly a heckle, but I was in a roast battle where someone said something to me that I was like, that is a good freaking burn. Like, it hurt.
It's always cool when someone roasts the shit out of you and you're impressed with how they roasted you, isn't it? I'm always impressed when someone does it.
You know what? That's what I should have done. Now that I look back on it, I was like super offended, and I may or may not allegedly have cried and been banned from that room. It's not a big deal. It's fine. It's honestly, it helped me venture out. So, no. I guess I was struggling because I wasn't putting my shoulders back at all.
Yeah.
So
that was part of it.
Yeah, this is definitely not something I'm gonna do like again soon. Why am I so hot now? I'm like, this is so far of all the positions, this is the one that's like, oh, by the way, you're doing yoga.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, it's known for that.
So, any more questions, or can I fix myself?
Did you answer that question?
Did I? I steer clear of race?
Race. Okay, that's the answer. Fair enough.
I mean, honestly, my comedy is really personal, and I make fun of my family a lot, and it really puts them off. They're like, she hates us. And I'm like, well, you know, you were going to find out one way or another. Most yoga classes are like dead silent, and it's just you in your head looking around at everybody doing the poses you can't do. That's me. This was really fun, you know. I enjoy talking, and I enjoy like...
I've noticed.
Yeah, it's part of the reason I became a comedian as well. I date very quiet men, if you can believe it. Takes years into the relationship for them to be like, I don't like you.
Well, if it matters, I like you. I had a lot of fun.
That does matter.
Yeah. Thank you for being a guest on the show. Thank you all for watching. This has been Comedy Meets Yoga with Vic Dubin. I'm Vic Dubin. This is Coral Best. Thanks for watching.